Oh, so you're here. I'm really fascinated by this painting. Actually, that Mickey looks really cute to me. I don't know about you either. Okay, so, like we said, today, let's just get into, and as we did in the previous video, we will be continuing on, and in the last one, we just went in data.head. Now, let's see how can we go ahead and how can we plot the data that we have. And maybe we'll do some other things, and we'll just rock the world. So, what are you waiting for? I'm really excited for it. So, here we go.
Everybody ask me how I know. I smiled at them and said she told me so. Everybody ask me how I know. I smiled at them and said she told me so. Everybody ask me how I know. I smiled at them and said she told me so.
Great. So, now this is where we left off in the last video. We were on print data.head. Now that printed the first few things with us. But what do I want to do in this video is how can we plot the data that we have, the data that I showed you. Let me just pull it up real quick for you. So here is my Sublime text, and let me just come here to my data. As you can see, it just showed us the top 5 results, right? What if you want to see all the 50 results all into one screen? Wouldn't it be great if you can use a graphical method to represent all of the points and plot them on the graph? So that is what we are going to do exactly for at least a couple of minutes. So I don't know whether I'll be making a new video or starting in the previous one. Anyways, let's just go. So, well, you probably know because you're watching it. Anyways, so what do we want to know? Actually, you know why Python is my favorite language? It's because the community of Python and even JavaScript is such a huge community that some things that are really obvious and are really common, you don't have to write things again and again and again and again. Okay? So there is a library in Python that we call as, well, you must have heard its name. It's called as Matplot. Right? It's called as Matplotlib. Now, what we do in Matplotlib, well, you can do all sorts of crazy things in Matplotlib. For our purposes, we will be plotting the data, and that is a mathematical plotting graph, as the name suggests. So, what do you need to do? Well, you need to import Matplotlib. Now the caveat here is we can't just use Matplotlib, we need to use something else, that is, actually it is a function, yes, inside Matplotlib, or maybe a class. Probably it's a class. Okay, so it's matplotlib.pyplot as plt. So this is where we are right now. We are at import matplotlib.pyplot. Okay. And now that we have, actually, you know why I imported this as PLT? It's because matplotlib.pyplot will be a very huge name to write, and since we programmers are really lazy, so I just imported it as PLT, so I don't have to write it again. So why didn't I did that with sklearn? I wish people don't do so. I didn't either. Anyways, so like this is a very common name that you'll get PLT because it actually says and depicts what the thing is. So it's a pretty good name actually, PLT. Anyways, so what you need to do is, first of all, you need to get the data. Now, how will you get the data? In most of the data sets that you will be ever using, you will already get the ID. Okay, this thing that you can see as 0, 1, 2, and 3, 4. You will always get it, or at least in most of the cases you will get it with you, but in our cases it is already indexed by, as you can see, pandas, like you just saw. So since this is already done by pandas, so we need to make our own x-axis. So let me just explain to you how our graph will look like. Our graph will be, you will have an x and a y-axis. So here is your y-axis and here is your x-axis. Now in this axis we will have time, so how much time a person took while running, and this is the number of times that person wrote, so that this will be increasing the graph, and it should ideally increase upwards as the person goes on. So what we need to do is, we need to define a x that will be for our x-axis, and what we'll do it, well, we need a loop inside which you will have to store all the 50 numbers. So you can write like a normal loop, but I will be using a single line of for loop, and that will be a for a in range 50. So what it is, what it took the numbers from 0 to 49 and put it in this list. Now that I have my X ready, let me just plot the first 5 things so that you can just see what my data is. Okay, at least not plot it, let me just show it to you what my first 5 digits will be. Okay, so what do I need to do? I need to have print X till 5. So this is again okay, so this will be printing, yeah, so this will be printing all of the numbers from 0 to 5, or at least the first 5 elements that is in this array. Next, what do we need? We need something. Yes, you heard it right, we will need something, or the y-axis. Now that is the number of time period, and let's see, we can just take Ohm's trees. Okay, so let's just take his, and so I can just call it as y, and later on we will be doing for every person, and we'll be finding out who actually won the race. I hope it's me. Anyways, so y, and what you need to do is you have your data, and from your data you need to take something that is Ohm tree. So you need Ohm SHREE. Okay, so from the data we took Ohm tree. So I will be printing y dot head as well. Y dot head, I guess. Let's just see what happens. Maybe it should do, maybe it won't, I don't know. Anyways, so here I am, and let's just see what this does. Let me just real quick run this for you and see if we got any errors. It's less likely we won't, because I usually run into errors, and actually errors are a pretty good thing to run into because they can teach you a lot. So I don't really want to skip the videos of me trying to like unbug, if that is a word. Like I just literally don't want to. Okay, so that says data is not defined. Data is not defined. Data is not defined. I just say, wait. I guess I need to run everything again. Okay. Okay, that's not my mistake, I guess. The computer already stored it. What the heck? 4 frames. It's not found. Okay. Hey, do you remember yesterday we talked about some things and I had to import the data? Where is it? Running data.csv. Yeah, here it is. I need to take this data along with me in here. Okay. Okay. So yeah, that was actually the thing. Okay. So now let me just run this. Run this. I don't know what happened to me. Anyways. Okay. So that I guess ran fine. Let's see. Okay, so that's done. Now this one, it printed, and now this one. Oh yes, what we did in the first try. That's lovely. Okay, so as you can see, the X is 0 1 2 3 and 4, and the data is matched correctly. Let's just quickly check. 7 for 7 8 7 8 7. Okay, fine. Yeah, so if you're wondering what the hell is this, well, whenever you are trying to print out, like, this is a data set that is by pandas. Okay, so it automatically detects what it is. So the name is Ohm's tree and the data type is float because we're using floating numbers, and it's ideally to use floating numbers because whenever you're doing machine learning you can't use strings. You have to use numbers, ideally between 0 and 1. So right now we are not really concerned about that. Anyways, so now that I have it, let me just real quick plot it for you. So how do you plot? It is plt dot scatter. Now what do you want to scatter? It takes an x and a y value, so you need to give an x and a y value, and then you need to tell, okay, so now I have given you the value. Wait, it's plt, right? Okay, plt, and then now I have given you the x and y value, and then now just quickly plot it for me. Now let me just run this and see if we get the results that we desire. Here it is. So here's the data, as you can see in front of you. This is probably an outlier. So as you can see, it's 27 seconds. Oh my goodness. 15 meters, 27 seconds. I think I will win. Anyways, so it starts here. It probably starts at 7.5. Let's just check. Yeah, it's at 7.2. So I am very bad at pinpointing it. Anyways, so it's at 7.2 and the data goes like this. As you can see, it's increasing in the middle from here till here, and then it's quite flat. Probably he did a sprint in the middle and then he stabilized at the end, and then at the end when he realized that when it's about to end, so he was quite quick. So this is the data that we have right now with us. You have your x value, you have your y value. Now we have plotted our data. Now what to do next? Well, first of all, like, this was a data of Omshri. Now I want to show you like my data as well. Just, it's actually not for you, it's for me to see how well did I do. So mine only goes till 14. So it's pretty strange sort of a graph, you know. It goes from 0 to 15th run, and then I quickly became faster and then slow, fast. Oh my goodness. Amazing graph. We are going to get really strange results from these. Lovely. Now that you have this for you, now that we have this with us, I just want to leave this video right here because we will be following along in the next video and we will be predicting. Now this dataset will be over in the next video and we will be going on with TensorFlow. Yes, you heard me right. We will be using TensorFlow that hardly anybody does. So we'll be using TensorFlow. No, don't get me wrong. TensorFlow is a wonderful library. What I mean by hardly anybody does is TensorFlow is not usually used whenever you want to do some simple linear regression because scikit-learn overshouts TensorFlow outrightly. Okay. So the reason I want to go in with TensorFlow is because there is no such thing like the way we are doing here, and there's a lot that you will see while predicting that you will be like, okay, I know how to do machine learning. I know you will be like, after watching the first data set, okay, you will be like, okay, I know how to do this. I know how to do linear regression. But the thing is, I don't know how it actually happens at the back. So what is the actual brains? Okay, so we will be first of all doing that, and then after we have even done TensorFlow, I will take one more, and that is that we will be creating on our own, and that you can create on your own as well. And what we'll be doing is we will be training the data to map. Okay, and we'll be using no other library, not even TensorFlow. We will be only using NumPy, so that you can get as deep into it as possible. Fine. Okay, so now that we are here, I want to leave you with something so that you can just play along with this. Now what I want you to do is, I want to plot more than one graph on the same thing. So what if I want, okay, now since the x values will be same, my y value will be different. So I can just call this y Shubham, and I can call the other one y Om. It's Om. Okay, so I'll have to do data Omshri. Okay, so no need to print. Okay, print, I don't have any issue. Okay, y is not available, right? Y Shubham, scatter x and y Shubham shubham. Oh my goodness. plt dot sctter x and a y Om. Okay, so first of all, let's just see whether it uses different colors. Otherwise we'll have to define the colors explicitly. Okay, so let me just run this real quick. Okay, it won't work. I have to rerun everything, otherwise it just won't work. Cell is already running. I'm an idiot, you know. It's allocating right now. It was disconnected in the middle. Hmm. Okay, so actually there was an error in my Wi-Fi. Error. There was a problem in my Wi-Fi, so that's why I just got disconnected. Okay, so we were here, right here, and so what we'll do is we'll just run this and see if it works. Okay, and here's the results. Okay, so it does work. So we don't need to specify the color. It for me it's blue, as I know, and for Om it's orange. But what if you don't like I know this because first of all I mentioned for mine, and so the first by default is blue and then might be orange, so and then after that comes Om, so I know that it's Ohms. But what if you want others to know that it's theirs? So what you can do is you can come here and say plt dot, and what you can say is, yeah, so it's right there, it's called as ligands. Okay, so if you mention plt.ligand and then inside a list, if you mention in the exact order, so I'll mention Shubham and then Om Shri. Okay, so right there, if I just run this, as you will see, yeah, so a cute little box appears at the top saying that blue one is Shubham and this orange one, it's orange, right? Yeah, so the orange one is Omshi's. So that is how you can use Matplotlib to plot the data. Now this is on the browser. If you go ahead and do the exact same thing on the local browser, what the hell am I saying? On the local system using Python, okay? So for that you need to import Matplotlib. How will you do that? You need to run, oh my goodness, just a second now. I'm an idiot to run that. You know, I was just thinking about PLT instead of CMD. Okay, so if you go inside Python and then you need to do something called as pip install matplotlib. That will install matplotlib, and then sklearn, and I guess those are the only two libraries that we have stored, we have used. No, pandas as well. So probably pandas will come with sklearn, but if it doesn't, so you can just do pandas. Okay, so that is how we are doing it right here. I don't think there should be there should be an issue with the error. If there is any issue with the error, you can just leave it on the website, and probably I will just answer your question, or you can just leave it in the comments down below. Me or at least someone else will handle you. Okay, so you need not worry about that. So as you can just see, we have a cute little graph pointing to each of us. I don't know who will win the race, but as you can see, the graph is quite close except for a few points like this one. Yeah, the graph is quite close. So in the next video, we will exactly see who wins and how can we use machine learning to predict the models. Okay, so let's just get into it. And yeah, remember one thing, in the next video I will be giving the data set and I will be giving you a homework. And it's not a school, right? Anyways, I will be giving a homework, and that will be a challenge for you, a quick little challenge, after which you should be able to, because that challenge will check you how well did you understand it, and I want you to just cut the code, everything, and then write everything from this cache so that you can just get everything into your mind. So bye bye for now and keep innovating.